Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to the next video, which is a chat with Gothic Witch. Enjoy. Hi guys, I thought it would be nice to do a bit of a chat once in a while, you know, talk about things that I think are on my mind that could be helpful to you. Living in the city as I do, and by the way, welcome to my lovely little kitchen. Living in the city, you think would be something, sorry I'm going to move this around with me, looking at my lovely plants. I'm going to turn that round. You can see there's my lovely plants. My two friends. This is my two friends. Now this one feels very male and this one feels very female, and they really love each other. And if one's feeling poorly, the other one seems to go downhill. So yeah, they both sort of get on together really well. And I know another thing which I'm going to talk about is, do you know the fairies in your house or home and your garden and area? Because like us witches living in the city, there are also the fairy folk who live in the city, and like wild animals also that live in the city. Something that we are here strategically, I can't say the word, strategically placed for a reason, and I would say the divine do this for a reason. Yeah, I thought it's good to talk about these things, and I'm going to have my cup of tea. I've been to work today and I'm doing this off the cuff because I'm very busy today, but you know, that's the way it is. What is the difference between being a witch that lives in the countryside or a witch that lives in the city? Quite a bit, quite a bit. When you live in the countryside, you are basically, let's put this up here, hang on, you're basically relying, well not relying, but you're using all the lovely nature around you, and you are going to nature, you are walking in nature, and you're using nature in your work as a witch. Whereas when you live in the city, you have to find it in a different way. You can't just go outside and touch grass on trees. We do have some trees obviously when we're not living in complete middle of the city, but parks get busy. If you haven't got woods nearby, even if you have, they get busy with people walking their dogs and things. There are restrictions, so like they're shut at night, so you can't get in to do ritual. There's not a lot you can do, so you have to make do with where you're living. Now, where you're living will be, it's okay if you've got a nice house with a garden, with neighbours that aren't nosy. But come on guys, where I live, if I did something in my back garden, which is very wild, I will tell you, if I went out there, then all the neighbours would know exactly what I was doing, and they would be nosy, and you know, not a lot of people understand what witchcraft or witches are and do. So you are really stuck for what you can do, especially if you live in a block of flats. All you would have would be your balcony, which actually would probably be better than what I've got, because if you've got a balcony, no one can see what you're doing. Might be good. You could put some grass out there and plants and pots and things. That would be really nice. But at the end of the day, is it worse for an urban witch than it is for a countryside witch? I would say no, because you learn different techniques, and one of them being you have to use your psychic, what's the word? You have to be able to shift, and if you can shift, you can go to anywhere you want and do ritual. You can go anywhere you'd like. Even if you meet up with other people, you can do what's called psychic ritual together. You can sit in a circle, maybe sitting over the park, people wouldn't know what you were doing. You could sit there and then both meditate and go to the same place, and that can have amazing results. The other thing is that you don't have to miss out on touch. Like, for example, my two beautiful plants that I've just shown you. You know, I talk to them, I sing to them, I touch them, I wash them, I give them food, I give them love, I give them encouragement. And by doing that, I'm actually inviting the fairies of that plant. Sorry guys, I got disturbed. I don't know what the lighting's like in this room. I've come upstairs to get away from the family, obviously. If they come in, I don't want to be filming while they're there. So, yeah, where was I? Yeah, with the plants. So when you do that with your plants, you're actually encouraging the fairy folk to come and work with them too, which gives fairies a place. You might say, what fairies? Are there really fairies? When I first moved here a few years ago, well, a long time ago, actually it will be 40 years this year, come November, when we moved in, the garden wasn't done and it was pretty bad. And we started to have lots of little things happening in the house, like, for example, we'd find knives going missing and things that we'd done, like places I'd put ornaments, they would be moved around, food would go missing from the cupboards and stuff like that. And I thought, well, that's a bit weird. I thought I had a ghost. It wasn't a ghost, no. I had a friend who was a shamanic traveller, and they came in and they said, you have a fairy that hides in your cupboard, your food cupboard. Really? But yes, food cupboard, the fairies do live in your house. In Norse witchcraft, we do actually think about the elves and the gnomes and the giants. So we do have a belief system that involves the help of elves and fairies like that. And in a city dwelling, they don't have a lot of areas, like the wild foxes. They don't have a lot of areas to live. They have to find little communities of their own. But they do come and live in housing, and they do live in sheds and gardens. When you have a fairy, you need to make friends with that fairy, and you need to understand what it is that they want to do and the things that will it sort of go with the stuff you want to do, because you don't want to be upsetting any fairies, because you will know that they are there if you upset them. I got a story like when my daughter was little, and she used to be scared to go outside the back door at night, and I don't know why. Well, I didn't know why. I did find out later, because when she did play out there after a certain time at night, she would get bite marks. And when I say bite marks, I mean real bite marks, and they weren't like from insects. They were like a shape of a tiny little mouth, and you could actually see the imprint. Didn't break her skin, but it was enough to make a mark, and it would be gone by morning. And she told me, because she was very psychic and she's got all the abilities, that she saw this thing that used to come out and it used to attack her. And I tried to get her to not be scared, and that it was obviously in her imagination, because I didn't want her going to school telling people that she's got a monster in the garden and that it bites her. So I did some meditations on it and finally made a breakthrough. The breakthrough came when I was tending one of my plants, and I shut my eyes for a moment and I saw a little elf, and it was sitting there watching me. And I said, "Hello, who are you?" Well, it didn't answer me, but it sort of just smiled, and I thought, well, that's a breakthrough. And over the years, I got to know them, not by name, but I know when they're there, and I know what they're doing, and they know what I'm doing, and we're all friends. And if you ask them to guard your house, they will. I've had people say they've seen stuff in my garden that's not natural. I've had postmen that have gone away and not wanted to come back because they guard your property. If you are on their friends list, if you are not doing anything to upset them, they will look after you. Anyway, getting back to the subjects that I was thinking about, and that was being a city or an urban witch. It is different. As I say, I can't go out into an amazing place of fields and streams and things like that, but we don't have to miss out, because you can get a pot of earth from the garden or from the garden centre, and you can put it in a little bowl, and you can put your feet in it. And when you put your bare feet into earth, you can then meditate, and the earth will speak to you as a witch, and it will come through, and you will get all manner of earth-related things, including deity, fairies, animals, spirit people, you name it. But also you will have that touch of Mother Earth, which will send to you and keep you feeling like you've spent the day in nature. That is just one way that you can do it. You can also put your hands in it and just keep them there for as long as you want. You know, I mean, some people put their feet in boiling water, well, not boiling, but soapy water, and they let it douse them through the body. They feel relaxed and happy. Well, it's the same with earth, and it's the same with crystals. You can put crystals in water and submerge your feet. You will feel earth energies, and it's the same with earth. And grass, you can pick some grass and put it in a bag and open the bag and smell it. While your feet are in the earth and you smell the grass, you can transform and transport yourself wherever you want to go. It is an amazing thing, and in some ways, because it's more difficult, it's better, because you've had to strive to do it, and you appreciate it more. If you live in it, you don't appreciate it. So I also find that you can't obviously light fires and things like that, but you can do it with candles. And when I have my cauldron, I fill it with candles and incense. And to be honest, okay, it's not the real deal, but it's still the element of fire, and it's still the element of air. Again, you are feeling those things, and it transforms and transports you to another place. It is a different form of witchcraft. It is a different form of fitting it into your life, which can be very hard sometimes. Like, for example, today I wanted to put another video out. I want to keep up with everything, and I thought maybe when I'm busy I can do these little chats. Have you got any experiences that you'd like to share with other people? You can always comment below. We, as urban witches, are thought of as second-class witches, but we're not. We actually are here for the purpose of the people that are around us, and the animals and the nature that we have got. At the end of the day, people in the city need a lot more help than sometimes people that have got all that lovely nature around them, because they have that sense of healing around them. They have all the stuff they need. So, yeah, I mean, if someone comes to me for help, they're not going to live in a beautiful area. I'm not going to be able to sit them in the garden or whatever. So, yes, you go to someone's house and give them a reading or healing or whatever it is that they want. So here I go. Now, in my normal room, the one where I'm always. I think I should live here, really. So, yeah, there's my altar. Yeah. Okay, so before I go, I don't know what I'm doing, actually. Yeah, so there is nothing wrong with being an urban or a city witch. It is different, it is harder in some ways, but it is also a necessity for people that live in the cities and for the fairy folk that you can make friends with. You can also do a lot of soul retrieving when you live in an urban place, because people need a lot of help. When they're stuck in these tiny places with nowhere to vent themselves, that is very difficult. And so people like myself are here as light workers, as soul, especially with the shamanic. I do soul retrieval, and soul retrieval is finding parts of people's soul that have been lost, the damaged part, which can be called back and obviously make them whole. I will do a video about soul retrieval at some point, because it is part of a shamanic path journey that I am on, and it is a very, very good way of healing. For those that have never done it, obviously, that don't know about it, it is a very interesting subject, and one that I will cover. I'm not going to ramble on, guys. I just wanted to make a point that if you're in the city or in the suburbs and you feel that you can't get the things that someone who is living in the countryside or in a beautiful country which has got lots of wildlife, you're not missing out. You're not missing out, because you gain in other ways. You gain in the inner mind, using facilities and using abilities that maybe the other witches are not using in the same way. For example, a Norse priestess or Norse shaman would have probably outside a place where she could light fire and sit there and drum all in peace. You can't do that here. So you use a room, or you use a place where you can't be seen to do this, and it doesn't always work. So you have to find ways to be able to do things without causing any problems, but also finding ways. You know, as I said about the earth, you can, with the earth, touch the earth, you can touch crystals, you can touch anything. You can get a pile of leaves in the autumn and do the same thing. You can put them all around you in the room. You can douse yourself in them. You can have water, you can fill the water. You don't have to think that you can't be near any sort of form of nature. Plus animals. Connect with them. Go to maybe the parks and look at the animals and try to communicate with them. Feed them, take food over, give blessings to the gods about these animals. There are so many ways that we can help. There are so many ways as witches we can be as good, if not better, than those that have got all these other stuff that they don't always use, because it's part of their life and they don't really appreciate it because they're used to it. Just like we're used to being in secluded little buildings in the city. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope it hasn't been a boring video for you. I just waffle sometimes, and I thought it'd be nice to have a chat now and again. If you've got any questions about what you can do, the things that you can do while being an urban witch, just put them below. And for those of you that do enjoy my content, please think about subscribing, hitting the subscribe button, the like button, and click the notifications so that you know when I'm uploading. It would help me tremendously. For those that are subscribing, thank you. For those that are coming back, thank you. And for all those that are always with me, a double thank you, because you guys keep me going. Without you, I wouldn't bother, because these videos are here to help people, and I want them to get to as many people as possible. So think about it, guys, and if you do want to chat to me, I'm always available. Just leave a comment and I will get back to you. Anyway, leave it there for now. Hope this hasn't been a boring one, as I said before. As I say, give me some ideas of what you would like me to do a video on, and I will try to do this for you. Anyway, wherever you are, whatever time of the day or night or evening it may be, I wish you the best ever. House of Lang.